Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm Kristen, this is Stab Nails, and you've stumbled into a creative place where we hang out and do nails together. But today we're not making nails. I'm instead going to be showing you how to make custom nail charms using shrink plastic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and let's get into it. Actually, first, let me quickly tell you about what I'm wearing right now. I'm wearing a blue acrylic from this company called Tickled Pink. I will link everything below along with the discount code. And on my right hand, it's kind of dark around the cuticles because I was wearing gel nail polish underneath, so I won't do that again. All right, now let's get into it. Here's what you're going to need, starting with the shrink plastic. Now you can easily find this on Amazon just by searching for shrink plastic. I got the clear, but I'm pretty sure it comes in other colors and white. One side should be sanded, one side should be shiny. If it's not, then you do have to manually sand one of the sides yourself. So yeah, I'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. But next up is, what can you actually use to draw on the shrink plastic? And you can use markers like the ones I'm showing you here, but they have to be alcohol ink markers. That's very important that they're alcohol ink. You can also use either pencil crayons or pastels. I picked up these chalk pastels from Amazon. I just picked out like the cheapest / nicest ones I could find. Sharpies work really well. I only had this one size, and then I found another random permanent marker, but it did end up transferring a bit while I used it, so I'm not sure if I recommend that one, but definitely Sharpies. You're going to need some sort of sealant, so I have this Mod Podge water-based sealant that works pretty well. This is getting a bit extra, but I also am going to use some acrylic paint. I just grabbed a black and white. That's all we're going to need today. And lastly, because we're going to get really extra with these, I have some UV resin, which again, I just found from Amazon. Next, I'm going to show you this chart I made, and I hope it makes sense. So obviously, when you heat the shrink plastic, it shrinks to about a quarter of the size, a little less than a quarter of the size. So I drew out all these squares, and I did it twice and shrunk one batch of them and then kind of glued them on to the original unshrunk plastic. So I would know, hey, if I want a nail charm that's going to be this size, then I need to draw it this big. If I need the nail charm to be bigger or smaller, then I can use the chart to figure out what I'm doing. It just makes it a little bit easier. So yeah, hopefully that made sense. When you're planning your design, please remember that shrink plastic also does not shrink evenly. So things like perfect circles or with great symmetry are not really going to turn out. So keep that in mind. Yeah, I totally printed screenshots from my phone because I use my phone to film. So anyway, this was the best way I could figure how to show you what I'm doing. And I just have some generic images that I'm going to do. Now, just to clarify, I am kind of doing this because my next video is going to be inspired by a movie called Spree. And so there's going to be like a water bottle and a syringe that aren't going to really make a whole lot of sense unless you've seen that movie. So just bear with me through that. And to make things more fun for you to watch, I decided to pick some things that are a little bit more mainstream. So I'm going to make some strawberry charms and also some little ghost charms because I feel like those are things that I could potentially use down the road. I just used my chart to figure out the size to draw the strawberries. And I will keep doing that, so you'll see me do it again. I left all this in because I think it's really fun to watch the drawing sped up. And I do everything in pencil first, and then I go over and do like a better kind of black outline. You'll see. Right now I'm trying to draw out a strawberry blossom, but I didn't end up liking it, so I just kept going, and I didn't use that one at all. Oh, and you can totally find images and trace them for this. I don't really know how things work with images on the internet and copyright, so I figured I would just take inspiration from several different images and draw them out myself just to be safe. I love this part because this pencil drawing of the strawberry looks so bad. And then when I go over it in black, I just make the perfect strawberry. Like, look at that. Amazing. And that's one of the ones that I continue to use. I came up with this idea of using shrink plastic to make charms months and months ago when I was trying to plan out how to make a nail set for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which is also a video on the channel, so go check it out. And I just couldn't find any nail charms for what I wanted to do. I could find some nail stickers for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but nothing like chunky charms or anything. We're really kind of, stuck with whatever is available in the market for the most part. So yeah, this was kind of like my workaround. And I realized that, I could also look into the option of like sculpting my own charms, but to be really honest with you, sculpting is not my forte. I'm much better at drawing and painting than I am at sculpting, so that's why I tend to go this route. Please let me know down below what kind of nail charms you would make if you had the creative freedom to do so. What kind of nail charms do you wish you had that you just can't find anywhere? Yeah, let me know. I would love to hear it. Try to ignore that hilarious looking Kurt's World logo that I tried to make. Again, that's from the movie Spree. You'll see more about it in my next video. And then I'm just going crazy drawing ghosts. Freestyle ghosting over here. Okay, I'm moving into transferring the images to the shrink plastic. The sanded side is up. It's the side that I'm drawing on. And as I was going, I did realize that this marker transferred a lot and wasn't really the best choice. So I do kind of come in later and go over it with another marker. And I'm making more than I think I need because you never really know if things are going to shrink well or if they're going to turn out okay, so I'm making extras of everything. The strawberries and the ghosties are organic shapes, so I'm not worried about them warping whenever the shrink plastic does its thing. If they turn out funky, it's not going to look that bad. But I am kind of concerned about the water bottles and the syringes, especially the syringes. I didn't want them to be wonky, so I drew those out in a couple of different directions. They actually turned out pretty okay, as you'll see at the end. Okay, we're moving into coloring. First up are these alcohol ink markers. Now, you need to use a color lighter than what you want it to be because when the plastic shrinks, the color gets darker. So I picked out like the palest colors I could find basically from the set of markers. I ended up borrowing these from my sister. She has like a huge pile of these markers, so I was really lucky in that sense that I didn't have to like buy anything extra. Well, I already had to buy a bunch of extra things to do this, but these markers were not one of them. This is my first time trying the chalk pastels for this method. I've seen people do it online and it looks really good. So at this point, I'm not really sure how it turns out, but we will see. We'll see how it goes. Okay, I make a bold decision here to go over it with this alcohol ink marker. I did kind of regret doing this. I have almost no control when using these markers. Like I'm trying to make thin lines and I just don't have the confidence to do line work with these. Ideally, I would have had a Sharpie that was a little bit thinner, but whatever. I'm working with what I have, and they do actually turn out really nice in the end, so it's totally okay. I knew I would ruin these if I went over them with that big marker I was just using, so I instead tried to strengthen some of the lines using this Sharpie. It was getting kind of clogged up with the chalkiness. I did this with the other marker too. I would wipe the chalk off of it, but yeah, the Sharpie was harder to use. All right, we are moving right along into cutting. And I got these scissors from, you guessed it, Amazon. And I just wanted them to be small and precise. Because yeah, you need precision cutting for stuff like this. I'm able to smooth out some of the wobbly lines that I made just by cutting it straighter. And I really wanted to show you this. So when you get to corners like this, do not pivot your scissors. You pull them out. You got to pull out and go at it from the other direction. And again, we just go into the corner, stop, pull the scissors out, and go from the other direction to connect the cuts. Here's what happens when you don't do this. When you just pivot the scissors, you break the plastic. You'll get like these little tear things and white marks, and those do come through in the shrinking and they don't look good. See, there's like a good precise cut. And then I'll do this again where I try to pivot it, and this time the plastic really broke. So yeah, that's why we can't do that. Now here's where being a nail person really comes in handy. If some of the edges are pointy and you need to smooth them out, you can just grab your nail file, bitch, and smooth out those edges. It works so well, but you have to do this before you shrink them. This is a pre-shrinking shaping. I did this for all the ghosties, but I totally forgot about the strawberry babies, and they look a little jagged when they're done. So yeah, I definitely recommend this step. Okay, yay, we're finally at the fun part. We're gonna shrink. Here's how everything's looking. All right, let's go. Preheat the oven to 325. We're gonna take these, head to the kitchen. I'm trying to cover my messy apartment. Oh, but look, we have a visitor. Pixel's along for the journey. Yeah, so oven preheated to 325. I laid out some parchment on a baking sheet, and I'm going to dump these out. Again, we want the front side up, like the sanded side, the side that we've been drawing on. That side's up, and we're going to space them out so that they're not touching each other. You're going to want to put them in the oven for 2 to 3 minutes, and let's watch them shrink. The shrink plastic will always curl up and then lay flat, and that's how you know when to take it out. And when you take it out, you are supposed to kind of press them down flat with some sort of object, so I just used a piece of cardboard. Look how cute and little! I thought maybe I would show you my work area. Here's this huge collection of markers I borrowed from my sister. Lucky me. And yeah, here's how they look. I'm so pleased with how they turned out. Okay, something happened where I lost the footage of me putting the Mod Podge layer on, so please know that on the top side, on the front side, I did put a thin layer of the Mod Podge down, the water-based sealer, to seal in the chalk and the markers and everything. And it also helps the resin to stick, which we will get to. But first, I'm going to go into some acrylic paint, and this is only if you want to be really extra about it. Like, these are great the way they are right now, but I'm going to flip them over to the back side and do a layer of white to try to bring out the color a bit more. And it looks like I'm doing the front, but I'm definitely flipping them over and doing the back. These have to air dry, and because it's been really hot and humid lately, the acrylic paint was kind of sticky even after it dried, so I did another layer of the Mod Podge sealer over the backs of the white paint. Again, I'm being so extra. And now I'm painting the sides. I've gone back and forth about painting the sides, not painting the sides. I actually meant to do these all in white and not black. So I don't know what I was even thinking. I just took the black out and just started going, and I did all of them like that, even though I think white actually would have made them pop more. I kind of learned when I did my JoJo's nails that it looked better with some white around the edges. So anyway, learn what you will from these experiences. Okay, last step. I haven't done this before, but I put all the little ghosties on a nail stand so that I can do the resin, and it's such a cute idea. All right, so here we take this UV resin, and we're going to do this thing called doming, where we place like a blob on top, and then I'm going to take an orange stick, a plastic orange stick, and drag it to the edges, creating like this really nice even seal all the way around it, and it gives it a slightly domed effect. After that, I'm popping these in the lamp, but when I did the other sets, I would do multiples at a time and then put them in the lamp all at once, and I cured them for about 2 minutes. Unfortunately, I lost the footage showing the strawberries, and that was like so sad because you could really see the difference, and it really brought out the colors after putting the resin on those, but you'll see the finished product and you get the idea of how to do it just from watching the little ghosties. right, here's how everything looks. Honestly, those ghosts are so cute. They're all so cute. I do have outline regret because I think the black outline made like the syringes harder to see. So I'm probably going to redo some of these, but it's okay. We're learning and it's always good to have ways to improve. And look how cute they look. Like, I mean, you get the idea. How adorable is that? I would love to know down below if you think the resin is definitely worth the extra step, if you would do the outlining, what steps would you skip, what steps would you add? You know, we could get glitter in there. But yeah, anyway, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. Please be sure to stab that subscribe button. Stab it. And also like this video. Thanks again, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!